Welcome back to the Candid Conversation Show. My name is Muriel, and on the show, we discuss topics that are unspoken and taboo in our community. Our guest tonight is Lieutenant Craig Hall with the Orange County Sheriff's Department. We will be discussing domestic violence.
We want to thank you, Lieutenant Hall, for being here with us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we want to jump right in and just get to know more about you. Tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you from?
Okay. Currently, I work for the Orange County Sheriff's Office, as you said. I've been there about 17 years. I currently am a lieutenant with the Sheriff's Office, and I have work in criminal investigations.
Okay.
So I've been working in investigations a lot of my career, as a supervisor, as a deputy. So one of my backgrounds, one of my interests, to be there and be with the Sheriff's Office, or to work with more investigations.
Okay.
And so currently I have 4 units underneath me, to include domestic.
You're busy.
Yeah.
Very busy.
And you wear many hats as well.
We do. So you have to kind of change from one type of investigation to the other to make sure that everything's getting done properly.
What exactly do you do in investigations? Can you tell us a little bit?
Well, for me, I'm a manager, so I have the units work underneath me. Domestic violence is one, which has a sergeant, a corporal, and many detectives.
Okay.
They investigate domestic crimes, child abuse crimes, as well as our missing persons, anybody that goes missing, from children on to adults.
Okay.
I also have some robbery and persons-related crimes that work underneath me, as well as property-related.
Your phone is constantly ringing,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It is. They always they always have questions, or something's always going on. So they try to update me so I can update my chain.
Okay, that's good. What about, since this pandemic has been going on, do you think there has been any type of rise with domestic violence or any other of the
Missing children or...
No,
do you think
so
there's been a rise?
For Orange County, since this has started, and our numbers have come and talked about, or shown that crime is down. Crime is down domestic violence-wise.
I'm so surprised.
Yeah.
I know. It seems, I don't know if it's families getting along better because they're home together.
Right.
You would think it might be the other way around, but no, they seem to be, the numbers there for domestic are down, as well as crime overall is down.
I was just going to ask you that.
This 5-week period.
Has there been any rise in any one of those?
I think there's some ebb and flows. I think sometimes you get a couple here that go up 1 week and then down the next week. So, but overall, crime in Orange County is down.
Well, people are loving each other then. That's great.
They're loving on each other,
they're
spending
home,
family time.
Everything's closed, I guess, so it's tougher for them
to
go out and
to get into
see
anything.
or get stuff, right?
That's true. What are some of the specifics, since we're talking more so on the domestic violence?
Yes.
I'm a domestic violence advocate and survivor myself.
Okay.
Since we're just talking a little bit about that, can you give us some examples of some things that you have encountered, like some of your guys that have gone out, women or men that have gone out to residents and seen these types of activities taking place?
So the way that the investigators work, usually it's our patrol people that respond initially, and then our investigators will get called out to help assist them, facilitate whether it's a more severe crime. Some of the misdemeanor stuff patrol will handle, whether it's the report, the arrest. They will call us out and let us know, hey, this is going on, this is a situation we have a survivor that needs help. And our investigators will then go and help them. We have a partnership with Harbor House. We work very closely with them.
That's wonderful.
Yes, we work very closely with them. They're great.
Good.
Yes.
So they help us out tremendously. We have, so with that partnership comes, we have an early intervention specialist that works with us. So we have her phone number directly. So our detectives can go and provide resources for the victim or the survivors, and provide them. Hopefully, we can be a liaison between them and Harbor House. Get them to a place where they're safe, where they can be taken care of, as well as provide them with the closure, hopefully, of making the arrest or getting the arrest warrant on the suspect that was involved.
Right.
That's good.
Is there a certain demographic that is affected more than others, whether it's male, female, whether it's African American?
We don't see the demographic. I mean, domestic violence
Doesn't
Yes.
matter.
Doesn't
It's all
matter.
over the-
There's
yeah.
no
There's no color,
race,
right.
ethnicity, anything. Domestic violence can happen anywhere at any time. So for us, and of course it doesn't matter for us. It's one, if it's a crime, we investigate
that's
it
it.
and we go forward. So we don't see that changes.
Okay.
You know, so for us, I think the only thing that you may or may not see is a lot of times is usually there's some sort of substance abuse that is in
gonna
reference
ask
to this.
that.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
substance abuse seems to be a contributing factor. I'm
Okay.
not saying it's the only reason, and of course it's definitely not an excuse.
Right.
But it can be a contributing factor to some of the cases we see.
Okay.
And I would say more than the normal. You know,
My
most
goodness.
of the cases come with that.
Right. I sure was going to ask that question.
Yeah.
Because I figured it's either alcohol or
Alcohol,
drugs.
drugs,
Right.
some sort of combination of
Yeah.
both.
Right.
So that's what we see. A majority of our calls or a majority of our incidents have to do with either one or both parties being either intoxicated
influence.
or on drugs.
Right. Is there any special training that's required
That's
or
what-
any
So our
additional
investigators go through, when they first come into investigations, they go through a field training program where they get trained up on how to be an investigator, because a lot of our investigators come from patrol.
Okay.
So they get trained up on that. We do have special classes, violence against women conferences they go to, interviews and interrogations,
Okay.
which is how to interview suspects, how to interview people that they may come across.
Okay.
We also have specialty criminal investigation, law classes and stuff to help them understand, you know,
How to deal with
how
these
to deal
people.
with these cases. And then they work really, and they get trained up with Harbor House to provide, hey, these are the resources
That we have
that we
available to
have.
you.
Please make sure that you know now as a detective, when you go out to these scenes and you meet with these survivors and you meet with these people, these
Right.
families, that they understand what they can and they can't do.
Exactly.
I know.
I'm sorry. Do you have any tips for someone who is suffering right now and they're afraid to come forth?
Please come forward.
Yes.
Please understand, find some sort of somebody to reach out to, somebody that might be able to help you, or that they can reach out to us so we can help you.
Right.
I think I did find out something that I recently didn't know, that Harbor House accepts pets. And
Oh, really?
a lot of
Oh, I didn't
people
know that
are
either.
afraid to leave because
Yeah.
they have their pets.
Because their
Right.
pets are a family member.
Yes, it is.
Correct, exactly. So for them, Harbor House has the ability to accept pets. So
nice.
if people are concerned that that's an issue, if people are concerned that they don't want to leave their family, which is a pet,
Right.
then they have that resource. They can go to Harbor House and they will accept you there. So please, if you don't want to leave just because of a pet, please leave.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Be safe.
We'll go get your pet for you. You can bring your pet
Right,
with you.
exactly. Yes.
That is good.
So
That's nice to know.
So that, or you know, it is tough. I know a lot of times people have a tough time speaking out. But
Yeah.
usually there's some sort of person they can talk to, and hopefully that person will then reach out to us so we can help them and we can help, you know, do what we can to make their lives better.
Right.
We thank you so much for coming out during this time, you know,
Oh.
with this pandemic, but we are practicing social distancing.
That's right.
So
We are
we're doing
6 feet
great.
away. You can see it.
We're doing really good. How has it been for the officers, for you, families, and your family at the Sheriff's Department itself?
So the Sheriff's Office is practicing as best we can social distancing, but we do have a responsibility to take care of the public.
Yes.
We
appreciate you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So our responsibilities and practices have changed. You know, we have the protective equipment that's
Yes.
assigned out to everybody.
Okay.
Everybody has gloves and masks and sanitizers and stuff that they can use when they're out there. So our responses are, we also try to get as much information from people when we do go. Are you infected? Are you
Right.
sick? Are you this? So that we know what we're getting into.
Absolutely.
We've social distancing in the sheriff's office. We've tried to minimize the support staff as well as the sworn staff in the office at one time. So the sheriff is doing the best, you know, providing us with the resources to stay as safe as we can, but we also have a responsibility to the public at hand. So
That's wonderful.
Absolutely. You know, we didn't ask you, or you didn't tell us. What made you decide to get into law enforcement?
That's right.
Oh, law enforcement is a family business.
It's a family affair.
That's right, exactly. So I did start out as a athletic trainer, exercise specialist for years prior to getting into law enforcement, but it was something that was always a calling, hey, this is the public service I wanted to get into.
Right.
My father was in law enforcement, retired a few years ago after about 42 years.
My
Wow.
goodness.
So he
That's
did a lot of
amazing.
work. And my brother works at the sheriff's office as well. He's also a lieutenant with us.
He should
so.
be, your dad should be so proud.
Yeah.
I think he is. I think he's proud of all of us. So
Yes.
it's,
Yes.
but it's interesting. So we have those conversations, and when we go in for family reunions.
Of course.
Right.
Whenever we can do that again.
I
haven't
know.
seen him in a few weeks.
It'll be a while.
That's right, exactly.
Hopefully a little while.
Yeah, right.
That is wonderful. I'm so glad that, I love talking about, because like I said, I'm an advocate and a survivor myself. So any chance I get to talk about domestic violence and helping, whether it's women or men, to be protected in whatever way, Harbor House, or if the, sheriff's office, police department is helping in any way, I love to talk about that topic.
Well, I'm glad we get to get this out. And there was one other thing that I
Yes.
didn't, one tip and thing that we do have. We have partnered with the Florida Sheriff's Office Association as well as
Okay.
Lyft. And what they have done is they provided us with a grant to help.
Okay.
So people that
Lyft?
Lyft. So what
big.
they do is they've given us credits so we can provide to survivors
Okay.
rides to doctor's appointments,
Oh,
rides
wow.
to the courthouse to help. So this is another aspect, another thing that we can do
Yeah.
for survivors to help them get to places, whether they need to get their
That is
kid to the
wonderful.
doctor's
That is
office.
awesome.
But this also helps us with prosecution, so we can get them to the courthouse
Exactly.
and get the suspects, the cases
Right.
taken
Yes,
care of.
yes.
So
Because a lot of times with domestic violence victims, they can't, they can't get to where they need to go.
right.
You
So
know?
a lot of the survivors, and sometimes it just gets to that point where they need to go to work or they have to be at work at this
Right.
point and they can't
The
leave.
money.
And by the time money is a
Exactly.
factor.
Right.
So it is a grant that we've had and we use,
Mm-hmm.
and we partner with Harbor House too. They'll reach out to us and say, hey, we have this
Mm-hmm.
survivor that needs a ride to go from the Harbor House or from their house to
Mm-hmm.
the doctor's office or to the courthouse, and we can provide and get that set up, and the Lyft drivers will pick them up, take them where they need to go, and then
Mm-hmm. Right.
we'll work on them also getting back, of course, to
Yeah.
where they need to go.
That's a great partnership.
Very
Yes.
good.
Very good partnership. Can
So-
you think, I know there's so many different, scenarios, so many different stories, and of course you're not going to say any names,
Of course.
but a situation that just stands out in that you just can never get this situation
Well,
out of your mind.
I think one of the more recent ones we did have is we had a survivor who had fled from South Carolina
Okay.
after being attacked by their husband.
Right.
They were able to get an injunction up there,
Okay.
and they came down to Orlando to get away. The suspect was released up there in South Carolina and tried working on tracking her down
Wow.
here.
Right.
So we went through, my detective, she was all over it. She was able to find out where he was at,
Okay.
what he was doing, and the wife and was so fearful that
Of course,
something
he'd
was going to
find her.
happen. He came all the way from South Carolina to
So
find her.
he did come here.
He did.
Oh my goodness.
And so we were able to, the detective, with all her hard work, she was able to get enough to charge him
Oh,
with a
gosh.
felony crime, as well as locate him that evening and take him into custody so that she was safe.
Right.
Safe for
Exactly.
the night, and,
Yes.
and that sort of stuff.
The injunction is only good for that state,
state.
right? She
So
would have
we
to get
can-
another.
You can bring it down here, and they can domesticate it, which means
Oh, okay.
then it's okay, or it's
Okay.
we include it
Okay.
with us.
Very
Right.
good.
The reason is the concern, of course. You don't want to say that just because you left South Carolina, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
Right.
like you're
But
stuck.
when it got down here, we were able to get it taken care of through the state attorney's office and the courthouse, so therefore we could charge accordingly.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
That is
So
wonderful.
it was great to
Yeah.
know that she was safe down here.
Yes.
And hopefully because of the charges up there and the charges down here,
Here.
we'll be able
You'll
to
be
keep them
away
in a
for-
little while so
right.
that she and her children can be safe.
Could be safe. Because you hear there's so many of us that don't make it out,
Yes.
Right.
you know?
Yes.
So it's
So
nice to hear. It really
Yeah,
is nice.
So whatever we can do to make it work, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, my detectives, they're relentless. If they know, I mean, there's a reason they're in domestic crime.
Right.
It's not a,
They have to love it.
you have to love it
Right.
because you see a lot of pain, you see a lot
Of course.
you, almost it's just anguish, and sometimes it's, I want to leave, but I can't afford to leave.
Right,
Yes.
Or
of
I
course.
want to go
That's
over
it.
here, and I don't want to be involved with this person, but
Right.
I have no other place
I
to
have
There's
go.
no
nowhere to
place to
go.
go.
So they do their best to
Yes,
get the charges,
that's right.
put them away, and then provide the resources through Harbor House and other things
Right.
to see, you know, what we can do to help
Right.
them.
Thank you so much.
You mentioned pain, trauma. So is there any type of mental health training available to you all?
Yes, we do have, we have different resources that we can use.
Okay.
I know through HR we have our, you know, employee assistance
This program.
We also have, for certain situations, we have our crisis intervention team, which can help out with not just survivors, individuals on the street, but they can help us.
Okay.
We also have another team that helps us with, if we have a major incident or something, it's a debriefing. We can
Okay.
have those conversations. We can have those conversations as a group, as well as with counselors or without counselors.
Yeah.
Just peer, you know, sometimes just peer counseling and talking
Right.
about it can
Right.
help out. So the sheriff provides a lot of different avenues for us
Right, which
to
is good.
choose.
Yes.
You may want to do it by yourself.
Right.
Or with
It's
the group.
there. With a group, it's there.
Right.
Very good.
So you have the abilities to do that. It's just
Okay.
where
Whatever
do you want to
choose.
go?
That's right.
And
It's
it's
good that they
absolutely
have the
necessary.
options.
Yeah,
Yes.
very good. Well, we've come to that time, unfortunately. We are so thankful, you
Went
know,
so
that you were
quick.
here. I know. that means we were having fun. That's what
right.
it means.
Exactly.
We hope that we can have you back, and next time not with social distancing.
Sounds like a plan. Very
But
nice.
thank you so much for the
Yes,
wealth of
thank you.
information that you provided.
Thank you
Yes,
for having me.
thank you,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you all the viewers for tuning in. Please join us next week for a very personal journey, Tuesday at 6 p.m. In closing, many may not realize how hard it is for a victim to get away from their abuser. Never judge where you have never been. Lend a helping hand. It is never okay to stay in a situation where you are not happy, loved, or safe. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, please contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233. Thank you for tuning in.